Hello lovelies, Rotting Drag Fox here. Do not have a good concept art for this new what if, so I'm gonna use this small comic as one since I don't truly have one. Okay, so basically everything is gonna be the same in the story, but one thing. When Deku was told he was quirkless, he didn't bitch about it. He literally said, I could be a hero if I want to. I just need to train my body as much as I can. And that's what Deku does. From that day on, Deku started to work out in small proportions all over his body, excuse me. And when people found out that he was quirkless, they tried to bully him and pull him down. But Deku's situation with that is just to either literally pummel them to a pulp or don't worry about it because they're not going to be in his life anymore because he could literally separate them from him as much as he can. I'm going to skip to the before the beginning of the anime. In this case, Deku does have a very good build on him. He always dreamed of getting into UA and always wanted to be a hero. But two of Bakugo's goons, you know what, I'm gonna change the picture. You know what, I'm gonna use this picture. So basically, two of Bakugo's goons wanted Deku gone for good. So they hired this woman to, kidnap Deku and torture him. But the torturement went too far when Deku was walking home from school, he was pulled into an alleyway. As Deku blacks out from his mouth being covered with a chemical on a napkin, which caused him to black out, he woke up tied in chains, hands over his head as he struggles to move. As he sees a camera and two people in cloaks, while a third person showing her hair, her face, and everything except for her body. She literally has robes on her. As this was recorded live and posted all over the internet, showing that Deku is being tortured for the most part. As they see surgical weapons, knives, daggers, katanas, chainsaws, saws, whips, as they whip, hit, and slashed at Deku. But Deku never lost sight of hope that he would be saved by a hero, as he dreamt of a day that someone would save him each time he was literally stabbed to death. But one day went too far, as the woman said that on the recording that she needs to take care of him now and forever, because the heroes couldn't find Deku. They tried and tried a lot and couldn't find and pinpoint the location on anything on where this house may be or where he is. Some people think it's a hoax, and then when they realize it was real, they didn't know what to do. As each recording, they hear the screams of the young boy being whipped, slashed, and even shurikens tossed at him. And then something scary happened to him. The woman did a summoning circle around Deku as she does like some sort of ritual with the other two people in robes. The heroes pinpointed the location at last and hurried as far as they can, as they continuously had like the recording playing. Well, not the recording, it was a live broadcast, and they were like put it on their headset so they could hear what's happening to the child. As Inko is literally watching this in horror at Mitsuki's house, telling her what's happening, and they watch in horror. Bakugo technically did not felt anything towards Deku before this, but after this he felt guilty because Bakugo made Deku's life hell, and the thing that Deku responds with is by making him stronger so he could prove to Bakugo that he is not weak. But now he hears the screams of Deku calling for help for anybody, and then what he sees and hears were the irate point of him being pissed off as the woman grabbed gasoline and poured it on Deku's legs and arms. The chain was released as much as it can to be Deku's hands facing in front of him but still chained, so he couldn't move them anywhere else as she poured gasoline on it, on his legs and arms and hands and feet. As she grabbed a bit of how you say, well, it's a match, and she literally flicked it and it lit on as she tossed it to Deku as he screams in pain as the fire on his arms combusts and flourish in a way. The fire basically burned Deku's skin so badly as Deku screamed in pain as she took a candle that was not part of the summoning circle as she grabbed it, lit it on, and then put it next to Deku's legs as his legs combust as well as he's screaming in pain. As the thing that happens next, as she puts cold water on Deku, putting out both fires as she does the summoning circle, as she basically said, take this young soul as a sacrifice. And then one of the servants pull out a sharp knife that was twisted in a way to take out a heart. Like, please remember that this is broadcasted live, so also the League of Villains watched it, and they both, well, the League of Villains and Heroes both understand might be happening, but the League of Villains don't go that far. That's what I'm gonna say. The League of Villains are a group together, and they don't go that far. Yes, they kill people, but they don't go to this type of lengths. And Toga does love blood, but in this case, she was disgusted of herself for liking it because of how much torture it could bring to a person. I'm making the League of Villains like kind of a vigilante group, maybe. Maybe. As Deku screams in pain as one thing happens next, as he hears a musical tune, as the camera was pointed to Beus opening his bag and pulling out a music box. The music box that she wound up, and then it opened, showing a little set of ballerinas dancing and spinning to the music. As she lifted up, ready to break it, as Deku screamed, please don't break it. As she said, too bad, as she tosses the musical box on the floor as it shattered. As Deku's life basically shatters with it, because that music box was given to him by his dad and grandpa. The thing is, Deku's dad and grandpa had passed away during an injury from a fight with a villain to save their family. And the only thing that Deku had to remember his dad and his grandpa was that music box, and now it's destroyed. As Deku starts weeping in sadness, as people hear the sadness of the child, as she finished off the ritual by stabbing him 12 times, piercing his heart 4 times, and then piercing his lungs, stomach, and brain. well, not brain, lung, stomach, and voice box. As Deku Deku died on the spot from losing a lot of blood already, and now he basically, his body was continuously burned, but the bad part is the burns do not go all the way. It only stays up to his arms and legs. As the video recording cuts off, but one of the goons turns it back on, but with the cover on, so they don't see anything. As they hear Beast's voice saying, "Quick, hide it in the town's well." As they turn off the recording, and that was the only thing that leads anybody to the town well. As they drop Deku's body in the town well. As Deku comes back as an angry spirit, possessing the music box that his parents gave to him. Well, parent and grandpa. As the music box miraculously recovered and even became more ravishing than it was before. As the music box disappeared and stayed in the music room that was previously a dance studio. Deku dances very gracefully, like mainly street dances as well as ballet. As Deku at that moment truly hated the people who done that to him. But right now, Deku made it his own little labyrinth of a ballet studio. As once someone walks in, there's no returning in a way. People have fallen into Deku's grasp before and lost their lives because of it. And now Deku is obviously going to do it again to a new group of students. But he doesn't want to waste their time that far if they could get out. His old school had several missing reports of students going missing after going into the light music room. The music box of Izuku Midoriya was there. They know that Midoriya was very sweet, and seeing the music box there was surprising because the music box was destroyed on recording. Guys, I think this is gonna be it.